army was built by Yıldırım Beyazıt after the Nibolu victory.
Rising on 12 elephant legs with 20 domes, Milli Cami is the most monumental example of multi-domed mosques.
Aynen, çünkü bekliyorum.
Tophane Clock Tower is a clock tower in Bursa, Turkey. It has 6 floors and is 33 meters in height. The tower currently has a radio clock and is used as a fire lookout station. There is a different clock tower in the place of the current one, which was destroyed in an unknown date. The construction of the new clock tower began on August 2, 1904 and was finished on August 31, 1905.
Emir Sultan, also known as Şemseddin Mehmet Ali al-Hüseyin al-Buhari, was a dervish and scholar from Bukhara and also the advisor and son-in-law of the Ottoman Sultan Sultan Bayezid I. The present-day mosque bearing his epithet Emir Sultan and situated in Bursa, quarter of the same name, was built after the collapse of the original 14th century moment in the 1766 earthquake. Although the materials and the location were maintained, the style was adjusted to reflect the Baroque design that came into fashion in the Ottoman Empire during the 19th century. Following 1855 Bursa earthquake, the mosque and mausoleum of Emir Sultan was rebuilt again in 1868 by Sultan Abdulaziz. The mosque and mausoleum stand on opposite sides of a large courtyard, with large basin at the entrance. The courtyard entrances are on the east and the west, and the mosque and the mausoleum are accessed through the courtyard. A wooden arcade with pointed arches wraps around the courtyard and raises the form portals with tall domes at base leading into the buildings. The mosque on the south is a tall single-unit prayer hall of masonry construction. There are two minarets at its corners on the north. The mausoleum, also on the south, is composed of a domed room in the center and smaller rooms to its sides and houses the tombs of Emir Sultan and his family. Other rooms on the north corner of the courtyard are for use by imams. An old cemetery covers the downside of the hill from the complex. Hundi Hatun, the wife of Emir Sultan and daughter of Bayezid I, built the hammam to the south of the mosque. There are numerous historic fountains scattered around the complex.
So we are here in front of the Weeping Bridge. It's one of the historical values and symbols of Gölyazı, with its age more than 700 years. Okay, according to legend, in Gölyazı, where Greeks and Turks lived together, Mehmet and Eleni were in love with each other, are forced to leave because the population exchange. Seeing the Greeks leaving the village, Mehmet searched for Eleni in the crowd. Meanwhile, Eleni's older brother Yorgi interrupts Mehmet's way and tells him to give up his love. In the ensuing argument, Yorgi stabs Mehmet with his dagger. Despite the wound he received, Mehmet managed to go as far as the hollow of Great Plane Tree. Here, Great Plane Tree is this. Where he secretly met with Eleni. Learning about the incident, Ain finds her loved one covered in blood when she comes from the hollow of Plane Tree. He takes the head of his beloved in his arms and says, "Don't worry, we'll meet soon, and the hollow is off plane. The tree will be our home forever. Our love will live as long as the plane tree exists." She killed herself by putting her belt that she had untied from the waist on a branch of a plane tree. The legend then goes like this. After the tragic tale, the huge plane tree started shedding body tears. The plane tree is here. You can see it's a very big tree, and he is. Wait a minute. He is in 2020, 747 years old. Okay, see you next time. Gölyazı, which developed in the Roman area, gained more religious works in Byzantine period. Some information about the region, which has not been continuously excavated until today, was obtained by examining the coins found here in the region BC. In the 1st century, coins with crayfish relieved were minted in Apollonia. Plenty of Byzantine imperial coins were also found in the region. In addition to the ruins of a structure known as Deliktaş, which is believed to be an aqueduct, and the ancient castle called Taşkapı, the ruins of Temple of Apollo on Kız Island. The remains of the ancient theater, the walls whose remains can be found around Peninsula, the 19th century. The Hagios Georgios Church, which was built by the Greek military living here in 19th century, and the Hagios Konstantinos Monastery Church, whose ruins are located on the Monastery Island, are the most interesting historical ruins of the region. There is also a historical mosque and Turkish bath, the date of construction of which is unknown. In area that has been declared protected are the taken under protection. The 750-year-old plane tree at the head of the bridge that connects Gölyazı, the peninsula, today known as a weeping tree, is also a natural wonder worth seeing today. You can see Gölyazı here. There's a mosque there, another mosque, the Uluabat Lake. Okay. Trilye is a neighborhood in the Buday district of Bursa. It is located on the coast of the Marmara Sea, 11 kilometers to west of the district. There are Kumyaka village to east of the settlement, İfece to west, Yalçıpik to southwest, and Kaymakova and Mirazova village to south. Some researchers claim that Trilye is a area of beryllium. Trilye's sister cities are Rafina and New Trilya in Greece. Thomas Coston, BC, showing cities paying taxes to Athens. He stated that the city needs brilliant areas in the list dated 425.4 and to 421 may be related to Trilye. Due to inscriptions belonging to cults of Apollo, Zeus, and Cybele in the region, it is thought that Trilye was a direct megara colony or settlement connected to this colony. In the letter written by Michael Physelos to Jude of the Opsicolon Dam in middle of the 11th century, the name Trilogia is mentioned. Patriarch II Georgios Gregorios, Emperor II, in his letter to Androkinos Palaigos, he reported that the local administrator named Luanus collected unjust taxes from the people of Trilogia, Chios, and Elegmi.
Bursa, with its oldest known name, Bursa, was the capital of the Ottoman Empire, which radiated glory to the east and the west for hundreds of years, for 130 years. After a 10-year siege, it was conquered by Orhan Gazi, the heir of Osman Gazi, the founder of the Ottoman Empire, in 1326. As expected, the tombs of the founder of the state and the conqueror of the city were built in one of the most dominant places of the city, in a way to see all of Bursa. The tombs of Osman Gazi and Orhan Gazi, which attracted a lot of attention due to the architecture of the tombs and the view of the whole city, were destroyed by fire in 1801 and by an earthquake in 1855. And it was rebuilt by Sultan Abdulaziz in 1863, remaining faithful to its old architecture. In the tomb of Osman Gazi, there are coffins of Osman Gazi's son Alaaddin Bey, Orhan Gazi's wife Asburca Hatun, and 12 of his relatives besides himself. In the tomb, besides Orhan Gazi, there are coffins of Orhan Gazi's wife Nilüfer Hatun, her children and relatives. There was a different clock tower between the two tombs, which was destroyed in an unknown date. The construction of the Tophane Tower was finished on 31 August 1905. It has 6 floors and is 33 meters in height.
Princeton is the second that Sultan Bayezid II had built in Bursa for the purpose of income for his foundation in Istanbul. Its architects are Yakuban bin Sultanan and Ali bin Abdullah. Stone and brick materials were used together in the building. Bordered arts and fidar cutstone arts, domes and walls are brick. Cutstone and 3 rows of bricks were used on the entrance face. Around the large square courtyard are 38 rooms downstairs and 48 rooms upstairs. It has a camel shed and a stable. The building is interior throughout the arches, door opening to the courtyard. The trace of the hexagonal fountain, which was originally located in this courtyard, can still be seen today. Princeton was one of the most visited by foreign traders coming to Bursa, and fur trade was especially carried out in the inn. Since the middle of the 16th century, silk vendors were gathered in the inn. In the 1855 Bursa earthquake, the western and northern cloisters and shop of the inn were completely destroyed, and various additional structures were built in and around the courtyard to make the damaged part of the inn usable. Princeton was opened as a shopping center in 2002 after nearly 20 years of restoration. Today, there are cafes on the lower floor and some shops and offices on the upper floor. Pekam is a two-story inn built by Ottoman Sultan Mehmed I in the 15th century to generate income for the Yeşilkili in the Hanlar bölgesi of Bursa. Although its architect is not known, it is estimated that the architect of the Yeşilkili is Hacı İlyas Paşa. The building, built of chipped stone and brick, consists of a two-story portico around the courtyard and rooms opening to these porticos. It has a total 76 rooms, 38 on the lower floor and 38 on the upper floor. Today, some of its quarters have been converted into rooms and the number of rooms has become 81. There is a fountain in the middle of the inn, 4 rooms and a 12 converted masjid above them. But the masjid has not survived into the present day.